I hate the man. Like, he actually makes me sick that this is a minister of housing that hasn't even come to see these here. This is the biggest crisis that's hit Donegal, boys. Since what? I'd love to tell somebody to tell me worse.
How do folks? As ye may have seen last week on our episode, we had Paddy Diver, affected homeowner and Mica campaigner, on the podcast. Paddy invited us down to his house here in Inishowen to have a wee look. Me and Marty were mind blown by the story and what these people are going through. So we thought we'd come down and have a wee look.
So Paddy's going to take us around the house and where he's going to live, and how the house is standing at the minute, and the much damage the Mica has caused to the house. So,
and say hello to us too, wee dog. Shake it happy.
It's warm.
Alright, boy.
We don't normally use that there front door there because that there is
Well, use
the back door now for it's ready to
humble.
well, it's ready to come down another time. So that doesn't get the worst of the weather. You go around the back here and you'll see what gets the worst of the weather. Give you a rundown through it. The rundown, boys, that there is just more or less what happens whenever you get the worst side of the weather there. And that is just that's just a pure unsafe. If you look at the curve on that there's mellowed out to about a foot. My young friend, his woman was up there and they're in this bedroom on this side of the house.
Yeah.
And they couldn't believe it, they never slept all night. And like, you think that's an exaggeration. When I was up in my attic, right across there, the roof is separating from the walls. And you imagine if you're like bad enough rusted, middle aged, you imagine or elderly people or people like that there.
Yeah.
No, it's ridiculous. You know, you just keep going on, you keep going on to the bit.
There's no need for a Kango there, Paddy.
No need for a Kango there, no. It'll not take long to nozzle. That's not even the worst there. I thought it would have been far worse. But no, the whole thing, hey, it's a fucking disaster. Hey.
Oh, sorry. It's coming off. Oh my lord.
Look at it, like that. There's what houses. Look at the shakes there. I could have got down from down there. Like. The whole.
Your fucking family's not safe there, like.
It's pathetic, like. And not only is it pathetic, there's not even a maintenance team going around fixing these houses for elderly people.
To keep you safe.
Like I can get plaster now and go and fix that there. There's people out there with chimneys that's ready to fall down on top of a woman and a child going on to do their houses, and the government's sitting back and they've no urgency to ratify and fix these things. Like, look, you know, all joking aside, like that's absolutely pathetic, boys.
They're ready to come down.
What more is that? What more do you want? Like, what more do they need?
Do you want somebody to die before they start fixing it or what?
Aye, so look,
Oh,
I could have had there down there in no time hours.
With
But,
a normal screwdriver.
I know, it's pathetic, like.
So look at the cracks here too.
And the worst thing about it is that people don't really understand too. You see, every one of these here windows here, inside is freezing, boys. Freezing.
Because of the gap.
Aye, for the gaps, no wonder they're twisted.
See the way you can video, you can fucking record and all that. Do they see, is the government and people got seeing videos, I guess?
They're seeing these videos every day of the week. Leo Varker and Michael Martin, they went up onto Sharon Moss's house in Letterkenny. The house is full of mould. There's a young child was up over in England, died because of the reaction that mould does to your body and your chest and all the rest. And they know this, they've been up there. And not once have they ever got her emergency home. And she's one of the worst houses in Donegal. They've never had the goodwill to get her into an emergency home, get somebody in to either fix the house or nothing. The same woman's still in that same house. Like, there's no goodwill in this government. This is Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael.
But not even how do they sleep at night?
They just look at us as peasants. I don't think they actually care. It's all about money to them, but we're people.
That should be top of the list.
It's top of the list. If you vote anybody in, you vote them under power because you expect them to look after you and look after the progress and stuff.
Was that not the anger? Is that not the anger? The
anger to me at the minute would absolutely go through the roof. There's some of the people like Darragh O'Brien that's never even had the decency to come up here and walk around this here house and show the mental health, what it's done to families. This has broken up families, this has turned people to drink, this has turned people to suicide, drugs, everything. And they do not care. There's no goodwill here to give at all. I hate the man. Like, he actually makes me sick that this is a minister of housing that hasn't even come to see these here. This is the biggest crisis that's hit Donegal, boys. Since what? I'd love to tell somebody to tell me worse. come back. This is as bad as.
So,
not
Paddy,
just-
see if you were to bottle the anger inside you, you'd
no,
blow up a nation.
No, I know. You would, but,
You
sure,
would.
but it's totally understandable. And not just me. We've in. I hear then horror stories every weekend of pensioners that there's no chance of fixing their house. Because I'm tossing. You have landed here now about a week before I start stripping out my house. And I'll show you the storage that I'm getting ready, and another wee roof in the storage and getting ready for stuff that can't break, like the bathroom stuff that I need to reuse again, and show you the caravans that we're moving onto, that their children is going to stay in the caravans and watch their house getting tossed down, and every night the cycle's there. That shouldn't even happen.
That's mentally.
That's
bad for
mentally
them
not
too,
You
not
shouldn't
right.
be doing that though.
No, they shouldn't
You should be fucking weeding your garden or
No,
you know.
exactly. I'm like, are you going with Charlie McConlock? Listen, we have been massively let down by our politicians, especially Charlie McConlock, and not only that, every day that we're at it, it's a fight. There's no such thing as them bringing solutions to us. We're steady bringing solutions to them. Like even yesterday, I have his name written down now because it only happened last night, and I don't even know the woman because I wasn't under politics before this. But she's Maria Walsh and she's Fine Gael, and she's a European MP. Her along with what do you call the other buff now? Colin Margie. They're putting in amendments, boys. Now you couldn't write this shit here at all, right? Because they're putting in amendments in the European Parliament, and it's more or less to cover the government if anything like this happens in the future, that they're not blamed. And he's calling it a forced manure, right? And that they make it sound in Latin language, but really and truly what that means is this is our unforeseen circumstances. There's nobody left. There's nobody to be held responsible for this. This is an act of God. This is what they're saying in Europe. Instead of holding their hands up and say, listen, we didn't regulate the quarries. We knew all about pyrite back in the day. Leo Varadkar knew all about this in 2017 and never done nothing about it. But now Fine Gael is trying to cover themselves by saying that this is an act of God.
What?
Right, boys? That there's a block here, right? And a block should like. Right? Anybody can make that there, right? She's saying this here is an act of God, right? Right.
Look at that, sir.
Oh my God.
Fucking act of God. Make you fucking sick. That there's we're having to deal with politicians saying that there. Absolute fucking disgrace.
No, the insulation and everything, right through the insulation.
It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. I could go right through the back at their house there, boys, there in fucking 15 minutes.
Jesus, Paddy, I don't know what to say, to be fair.
It's just not fair, boys.
Your holiday.
There's wee girls. My daughter's living in that there house. She couldn't even live down in the bottom room. She had to move up and live on beside us in our room, so she felt safe. And you think of people out there and they're saying they're not safe in their houses, and it might be a wee bit over exaggerating. Does that there prove that it's not over
That's
exaggerating,
going to
boys?
cause her fear for the rest of her life.
Exactly, boys.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, not even that. The government are putting things in regulations that are allowed in the house that shouldn't even be there. See out there, pumped insulation. We're told to do that. It traps the moisture inside. There's no cavity. So that's even pathetic.
Yeah.
And there's no regulations at all. Owen O'Brien of Sinn Féin has written 2 books on it. And Dara Breen is the Minister of Housing. He hasn't even come up to see us here to try and stop it. The quarry, Cassidy's quarry, still isn't even closed today, boys. Only because the public closed it. The government never closed it. And boys, like at the end of the day, to think that the quarry is still open, they've done that there, there's no public inquiry into this here. No public inquiry. And nobody held accountable. Like, you can't even write this shit. How could there be nobody held accountable for making this shit? Like, Jesus Christ. For fuck's sake. I'm roughly my block out of my hand.
My God.
Anyway, so the next thing we have to do then is get a storage room ready. We usually landing a week before we're ready to slip out, and this is one of the storage rooms.
You're tumbling the house now in a week's time, Paddy, isn't it?
It'll be tumbled down in about a week's time. You know what? All the better. But now we'll separate the shade and get a storage room. And when we started to get it, I just realised, right, this is never going to... That's only mostly the kids' toys. That's there.
And Paddy, see for someone
Knock
that
at Christmas stuff.
see if someone doesn't have a space.
Now I know.
Or storage, how do they?
Well, they have to go and get 2 storage containers, and they mightn't have the room to have 2 storage
Or the
containers.
money.
Or the money.
Aye.
Boys, the biggest problem here is the money. I'm out thousands already. I have begged, borrowed, and stole. Not stole. But I've begged and
That big.
Well, I've begged and borrowed. The government do not want this scheme to work, right? They don't want it to work, and it proves because when they're allocating you so much money, they say 420. Listen, there's nobody getting the 420. It's all the devil's in the detail, and it comes down. But they won't give the banks won't give no bridging loans. The government won't, even though they give them money, they won't give you no money up front. and you need the money up front to get the storage room
Yeah.
ready, to get the other storage room that I'm putting there's no roof on it, so I have to put a roof to stop the water from getting empty, and the caravans. You have to get all that money first, and then you get it back after. But because I stopped my other house, I have another house, and I wouldn't get on the scheme because I wasn't RTB'd. Even though the council knew the house and there's nothing hidden, the people in the place had contacts and all the rest, they stopped me from getting on the scheme. So I went to the banks and I said, listen, I'm not paying my mortgage. That place is going to be left in ruins before I get at it. When the mortgage is paid, then it's going to be left ruins to me. It's no good to me. So I stopped paying my mortgage. And now the credit union will not give me £1,000 because the credit union is now in the central bank. So I went for a loan, and I've paid the credit union to build that house. I used to get a loan of 10 grand, pay it off. Go over to Scotland, pay it off. Get another loan of 10 grand, pay it off.
Yeah.
That's how it worked. I never missed a payment to the credit union in my life. And now the banks have it all tied up that they won't help
Anybody?
us getting their assets back to full market value.
Yeah.
And they actually penalise you for it. And the government puts out a headline, we're in talks to the banks. Nobody's in talks to the banks. The government put out a headline, the manufacturers need to be held accountable for. Nobody held accountable. Listen, I'll take you on around and show you the caravan now that we have to move on to. Or no, I'll show you the rest of the storage room. The boys are getting ready down here now. Like. So that's another man up the roof there now, getting another roof ready for storage to stop the water leaking down through it. Now, that's a cousin, Paddy Diver. I don't know whether to recommend it or not. I'll see if there's any water leaks in the roof after or not. No, I'm sure he'll do a good job. But time for me to organising us. Can a pension organise us? Can somebody vulnerable that's looking after 6 children or vulnerable people? Or there's some people's onto computers and not under construction.
Yeah.
The government need to just come up. It's an end to end that Leinster got twice. We're not asking for nothing better. We're only asking for the same. I'll show you the caravan now that we're going to have to move on to next after us. So this is going to be a new home now for at least a year. We've kind of left it to March, so we'll be out of the cold spell.
You're hoping?
Now we're hoping now. And listen, the only sad reality that I have, if I could find somewhere else to go and live, I would take it in a heartbeat because the children wouldn't have to see the house coming down.
Yeah.
And every day they wouldn't have to see that. And you don't know what it does to their mental health.
Oh, no.
I don't know what implications this will have in the future. But at the same time, to rent now costs nearly 800 a month. For a year, that's up on 8,000. So that's 8,000 a grand. So and then with me here, I might get more. And there's nowhere to rent out there. There's a housing crisis. So I'm not saying poor me if living in a mobile. We'll have no bother living in a mobile.
And 800, you're kind of clutching the straws there.
Exactly.
800.
No. And if you're lucky to get it, but the only good thing about it is at least my child can still go to school in their same school. Because there's other children there, and if they are in an estate and they go out looking for a house, they can't get one. Bad enough with doing this. But they might have to leave Carndonagh and go to Buncrana school. Like, what mental health implications is that to a child? Changing school. And it's as simple as us here. They know that's the biggest crisis at the state. 2.7 billion. You're telling me that they can't have an emergency homes down in Carndonagh, even 5 of them. So when 5 go out, 5 go on, and when they're out, then another 5 goes
But
on.
why not though?
It's
What you said?
because the government don't want it. They don't want the scheme to work. They really don't. Like, we're up there and we had a big meeting up in the Grenion. And we've got a new document ready. I'm up for a meeting tonight now with Michael Doherty, Mags, Roisin Gallagher, Lisa Healy, and we're finalising now the People's document. And like, there's so much in the People's document that's not in the schemes. So it's far from 100%. But listen, I'm lucky enough. The wife, she's taking it well. We're in now. I'll take you into the house now in a minute and show you. This is just about a couple of days before we start stripping. I'd say Monday now we'll be starting to take out the sinks and baths and stuff like that when that storage room's ready. And then it'll be full tilt then, it'll be moving on here. You couldn't swing a cat on it. Hopefully we're lucky enough that we're sticking it well, but see if I hadn't got a strong wife like Amanda and the two of us are on the one page, one wavelength.
Just about to say that, you must be a strong family.
We are, we're lucky that way. But then there's a lot of other people then.
Yeah, that's like...
It's just because you're living so close to everybody in here, this should cause fucking fights and whatnot. You just don't know what's down
At least when you have a big house, you can scoot down to the back room. Down here, there's nowhere place to go.
Hey, the whole point of us coming down and seeing you telling us your story and stuff is people talk about Mica and they think about cracks in your house and your house falling. They don't see the wee bits.
No.
You moving on here, you getting your storage ready, you renting out your rooms, your children seeing your house getting tumbled.
Aye.
They don't think, oh,
No, everything's out of the attic, and like, you know, when you're hoarders, you've all your Christmas, all your Halloween. Like, that's all the wee simple things. But it's families not getting the government that they've done no wrong, and the government's supposed to come and fix it end to end. Same as Leinster. They don't do a whole of Leinster and Dublin. Twice they just turn around and says, right, you go out of your house the 1st September, you'll be back in on a date, we'll give you a timeline. And up here, you're just trying to fend for yourselves. Jeez, look at us. Lisa's on here chatting again. Hey, you come live for two
No, so I do.
That's Lisa Hila. She runs 100% page fair play there for nearly how many years?
Marty.
Yes,
How many years now, Lisa?
Oh, 3 years.
3 full years. Every single day. So give her dues, fair play there.
It's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work, and we're going to this meeting tonight now to get that final people's document ready to see. Now we're going to hold Sinn Féin's feet to the fire, more or less turn around saying, now, that's just publicly going to declare, that just are publicly going to support this here document, and if they are, they are. We can't make them do everything,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we can hold them as far to the fire as we can, and if they don't, then they're the ones fail the people, then not us. Like, that's kind of the way we're
Something
doing it.
needs to be done now, looking at that house, it's mad.
That's mad. That's mad. And then you can just, like Lisa, we've had to tell you some horror stories of
Oh,
Facebooks,
Jesus, no.
like Sharon Moss's house, Mary Regan's, pensioners.
suppose you get all the
Yeah,
messages,
all
Andy, and all
All the
the...
messages in, so even going back about, say, 2 years ago now, like, I could have people phoning me up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning through Messenger, but like, because they won't be your friends. And I never forget, I had one woman phoning me, it was about 2:30 in the morning, and it was a cold winter's morning anyway, and like freezing, and she just phoned me and she went, hello, is that Lisa? And I said, yeah. I just need to talk to you. So her and her husband, like, he just admitted that, yes, we could have it. And she just sobbed and sobbed down the phone. I said, look, go and take a deep breath. I said, I'll tell you what you do, go to the back door and get some fresh air, and I'll wait on the other end of the phone till you're ready. Like, you've just got to try and support them. Then I had another story then, that one was on the phone that night for about an hour, sobbing. Every time she went to talk again, she just broke down, she could not talk. Then I had another one phone me, 1 o'clock in the morning. Her husband just couldn't take no more, and he just packed all his stuff into a bag, left her with 5 children under 8.
Jesus, man.
5 children under 8. What could she do, or where could she get some help? You've just got to...
My God.
Like-
But you see, that's a story. There's people, the men and the women, the government are splitting families. Like, bad enough as the homes breaking up, but the families is breaking up as well. It's
And the
a shock, right?
mental health.
The mental health.
Oh,
is
the mental
something.
health.
That's nearly the
Oh,
worst,
the
eh?
mental
But
health discussion.
There's not one house in the country that's anything to do with Mica defective blocks that could not tell you that a bad mental health story of either their children, their wives, or their husband, or some situation. Nobody takes it in their state. It's a loving nightmare. You wouldn't wish it your worst nightmare. or your
No.
worst.
I do find now that a lot of people, like say there was 2 people in a relationship, one person takes charge of it, the other one just steps back and lets the other person, like, so I think the strongest one in the family takes it and the other one sits back, not. Because there is, even like, take for instance Paddy and Amanda, I know they don't, like, but Paddy could be going for it, Amanda could be in denial. Like, so that is a lot of families out there, but want to keep on firing and going for it. So, but like, some of the stories out there is just awful.
And what support, what kind of support is there? Like, or
There's
what?
no real support network. We've got a Donegal County Council on a Tuesday and Thursday open their phones from 9:30 to 11:30. Absolutely pathetic. There's not even a hub that you can walk on day and lay out your paperwork and just say, listen, what do I do? What can you do for me?
Yeah.
No, every day you'll be on the phone, you'll have a facilitator, Michelle Coyle, she's brilliant, but she is, along with Jerry Morgan, there's only 2 of them, and only shown, what is it, 300 and, the size of Donegal? What's the population of Donegal? And the 2 facilitators in the biggest crisis on it, 2.7 billion scheme, and that's what you have looking over it. And nobody to turn around and say, just to take the pressure off you. Because as Lisa says, I remember whenever Amanda done most of stage 1 for us, and whenever the paperwork side of stuff, if you're not used to it, transferring things on from a PDF on the computer when you don't know, it's a nightmare. And when we started stage 2, you could cut the tension with a knife, like.
Yeah.
You know, that was really the paperwork side of stuff and all this. This is where it gets, that their mental torture shouldn't be added on to this
What you're going
mental
through.
torture.
Yeah.
Stress kills.
Aye, it does, definitely does. It drags you down, hey, it's put years on you.
As you say, it's disgusting. Like I said in the podcast, I was like, it's just like when you were explaining to us, it's like you were getting treated for something you done wrong.
Oh yeah,
That's what I felt like, and I was like, it's just fucking like.
I've heard Leo Verker. That I detest the man, hey, be honest, because like in 2017 he had as much paperwork to say that there's a quarry in Donegal that's causing defective blocks as homes start to fall down. The quarry has never been closed. What kind of man's running the country doesn't close a quarry? And he knows all about defective blocks because of pyrite down in Dublin. And then he had the audacity to go out on the radio or on the RTE and turn around and says, "So you don't expect the taxpayers to pay for this? That's what it is. Like you fucking expect you to do your job and we wouldn't be in this fucking position."
Guy, because that blew our minds because we're like, as he's going on like he doesn't know that he doesn't have this tax of paper there. That's what it fucking looks like.
Oh, that's what it is, but that's the way they portray it, you see. Oh, this came on top of us. We didn't know nothing about it. The amount of evidence, had done nothing about it until we went down to Dublin and started letting the whole country know what's going on up here. They tried to hide it. It was up here for a long time. Until we just went down, done the protests, closed the M50 and let the M50 know what this protest was for. And all the radio stations was going, there's Mica, defective blocks here, the M50 is closed. And that was getting it out. And then it was on the Twitter campaigns and it was the public who was letting it out. And the government hated that. They wanted to keep it away up here. Yeah. People didn't know. But you're now in 14 other countries. Like there's no regulations. They've got a standard to follow in the European guidelines, and they decided to make their own and made an absolute hames of it. See, and like we Barry Kearney here, and one of the things that he done, like there's a lot of people would have been on this group along with me and Lisa. Would have been me and Lisa and Amanda. Then when my sister Carly would have been on it, Barry Kearney would have been on helping me. Like Charlie Gibbons took a bus us down to Dublin along with Dawn. Like there's so many people that kind of keeps the campaign going all the time. But then you get social media can be toxic too, like so even when you're trying to do things right for the people, then as Lisa would say, there's people put stuff up on Facebook and it really just drags you down. You're more interested in fighting against what they say than actually going and doing something good. Like you get some people out putting out misinformation, like there's a certain person put out misinformation about the legal side of stuff, which I think is going to be a monumental day if this legal case finishes half the way it was doing it. But one person in particular decides that no, we'll tell the public, don't be going with Coleman Legal because they're not going to get past, they're not going to win. So thousands of people didn't go on with them. But at the end of the day, that certain person was wrong because they passed that milestone of the third party funding was cleared. Yeah. And now they're going on forward. So the people that puts out misinformation on Facebook, they need to watch what they say before they do it because there's massive implications to people.
Yeah. And people spend a lot of time put up.
No, they can't put up with it. They shouldn't have to put up with it. If you're going to put something up, put it up constructive, or even if you have a question or something you don't like, yes, that's no problem at all. But not the scaremongering and
scaremongering is a big thing.
It is like.
So that's just you see a lot of Lisa.
I get messages. I can get anything between 5 messages and 100 messages in a week. Near enough every day you've got a message about something. Yeah. Most of it I can just answer myself, so it's not too bad now. When you've been doing it this long, you don't know all the answers. If I'm not sure now, I will tell them they can go on the page and put it anonymously and ask. Yeah. Because a lot of people still don't want people knowing that they've got Mica, defective blocks. Mm-hmm. So they don't want their neighbours knowing, so they'll go up anonymously then to ask this question. And when they do that, then it's only me that knows who's posting it. So and they normally get the answer then put underneath it. Because I don't have it myself, I'm not going through the process of all this. So when people's going through the process, they can answer the questions then. So
I'll just give you a wee rundown through the house there now that we've more or less built as our castle, and that's ready to go out and do it all again, hey. That's the first room here now. That's the first room, not ready to go. I'll come off that now. There's doors, skirting boards, and then out the gap. This was the toy room. This was the toy room when we come in here. In the office, play darts and used to be a TV up there. Watch football. That's the little man cave. That's the kid. That's Savannah's. We gave him. That's just all her toys, all ready to go. And listen, this is. You can see then. This is the cracks are starting to come on the inside of the houses. Like it's gone all up on there, around in the roofs. And down the side of that wall and down the side of that wall.
This is a kid's room, like, so they have to stare at these cracks, like, which is not fair at all.
No, but she had to come out of this here room here because she could see these cracks appearing. And when you're 9 and 10 years of age, you're thinking that this roof's going to come down and lobby.
Yeah.
So she's having nightmares then. She did have a nightmare one time and she come up running and crying, and that was it. We got her a single bed put into our room, and she's never been out of there since. And like that's not life, boys. That's not life. Children are supposed to be growing up, and they're just playing with their dolls' hairs and all that. Them children are in schools playing with. They're doing instead of doing hopscotch, they're around singing Mica songs. What do they want? 100%.
You're meant to be free and do what you want when you're young. Not fucking.
So no, this is going to be an end of us. That's just now. I would say you just come back here now in 2 weeks' time. There'll be none of us left. Listen, the memories stuff. My father plastered this here house. He's passed away, so them memories is gone. You can't have memories. I say it's 50 years time. I can say to my son's son, things turn around and say, my father plastered that and this and that. All them, they're all gone. But what can you do? Hey.
Just disgusting when you come down and see it and hear it.
Aye, and that's just my story. Like my story, there's worse than mine. Like I'm middle-aged and I can project manage my scheme. There's other people who's not middle-aged and they can't project manage their scheme. So that's not right. There's just too many people left behind. There's too many people that need help. But getting no help. Everything's a fight from us government. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. I don't know if Sinn Féin's going to be any better. But by jeez, they couldn't be any worse.
No. That's it.
Hey, well, sure, boys, listen, I'll take this over to another house now that they've been fighting and campaigning for nearly over 8 years, I think. Their house is just down now, and they're finally starting to get on with their life too. But they put up a massive fight to get where they are, hey.
Alright, so we'll head there now.
Getting there done.
We were supposed to do an outside skip because we couldn't afford first
Oh, aye.
2 tops. And then when we went on for an outside scheme, the engineer turned around and says, I can't stand over it. But the people were already went up to the council. So it took us years to get off that onto us tops.
Everything's just been a nightmare and paperwork and red tape all the time, wasn't it, John? Just engineers are telling you can build on top of fucking raising walls.
Yeah.
You couldn't reach them and stuff.
That's the
It's
deal.
impossible.
They just
It's like
want to make you not want to do anything and just live in the house
That's it,
that's falling around you. That's basically what they're at.
And like for anybody there's no money to start, they're in real trouble. They can't get started.
No, you can't get started. You can't get started though.
No.
Not a hope.
Not a hope. And they won't.
This is where your house was it?
Yep. You sent me photos yesterday, do you want?
Gable there.
Oh, it's the Gable house there?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
When they started taking it down. I didn't think I'd be upset because it was out
Alright.
nearly a year.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd be upset, but jeez, yeah.
I would say
It was
it's just
a
horrendous.
bit tear-jerking, it was.
I just think it's horrendous.
Yeah.
We married. We had Paddy on the podcast and he was chatting to us about it and stuff. And you hear it, and we thank all the gods that we're not affected by it. But when you read it and you see it. But we sat down with Paddy and I chatting just to hear him saying it, and then coming down and seeing it. A lot of people don't understand what is going on.
They don't.
Like
No.
what the wee bits are just massive, and what people are going through is just absolutely disgusting.
People just hear the money
Yeah,
side of it,
yeah.
and they think, oh my God, that means we're going to be paying for this for the rest of our days. But it's not our fault.
Nah, it's just, and he was actually explaining this, and and we were like, they're coming across saying stuff that is your fault.
Yeah.
It's just madness.
Yeah.
You just had to build this too, so that's your own expense, is it?
Yeah, well, we got the 20 grand, not Christmas past, Christmas before. So that was
Emergency
15,
funding.
the emergency funding, so that was 15 towards
accommodation and 5 towards storage.
Mm.
So then we just put money together then and bought, well, it was a shed there, so we just
And you never used that when your own house was going up, that you'd had to
Yeah.
do this,
Yeah.
move out, and
so we're in
storage
debt
and
now
all that.
before this even starts.
Starts.
Fucking absolutely mental. Like you should be out cutting your grass, or you should be out fixing and
Yeah.
Like for older people, they're
Not worried about
Yeah,
finances.
that's
they're
what
in
you just
real
can't.
trouble. Like I can do bits and he's my brother, digger and all that shit.
People don't have that.
No.
So I'm useless with my hands. If I was on them, make a home house, I'd be useless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
And
crazy.
older people too. Like how you
Yeah, I know that.
You know.
Mary Regan one, I don't know, 73 years old.
Aye, he was telling me
By
about that
herself.
lovely big garden and
Yeah.
that there, and she's 150 in the list.
Paddy's a great helper. Yes.
Handyman, like.
Yeah.
just break your heart out of a fair, hey, and
That's the gable of the houses where you used to live.
Yeah. That's it.
it's just madness. It's absolutely madness. Like, and it just shouldn't be done. Like, it's just wrong.
No,
isn't it?
totally
But
wrong, yeah.
We just can't understand how people know about this. It's on people's desks.
Yeah.
You just can't get our head around it at all.
It was 2012 we joined this scheme.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is 12 years later.
It was
I guess that's-
2010 when the
We
first houses went up against the company, and that was about 5 or 6 houses, wasn't it? It went up against it, and then 2012, I eventually got him convinced. Yes, we have Mica, and that's when we.
How was that though?
started.
How was
You,
that
you
time?
didn't want to be
Not really.
See, I was
no.
on the
I would
post.
say.
I was on the post, so I seen it. When I was out delivering the post, I seen everybody's house coming down. I said, well, ours is exactly the same. And my colleagues were saying, Joanne, you have to admit that you have Mica.
Yeah.
And then it took me another year then to convince him.
Jeez, I know that's even stressful itself. Never mind, you know, the house having to be fucking knocked down.
Our house was condemned in 2016. We had what did you call the minister? Junior minister out there,
yeah.
Damien
Like,
English. That's
a deep in English, yeah.
That was 2016, and he said, I don't know how you're living here. We never left in 2022. So they talk about all this health and safety and all this rubbish. That house was condemned then, and they didn't give a shit.
Are they waiting for the house to fall down?
Well, we obviously, somebody has to be killed before this.
Before it really hits home.
Yeah.
And
You
that's
said you work at the post there. I deliver for DPD. I deliver around all, and I don't even know the people in the houses. But I'd be looking, and then your heart is broke.
Yeah.
But it's not. You don't even know them.
No.
But there's
The boss says, come on. Are you kicking me, Holly?
Jesus, there's one in here, isn't there?
Oh, it's great. It is great.
Aye.
It's all airtight.
It's not ideal as in Pierce to live in a house, I guess, but it's perfect.
Perfect for now. Yeah, definitely.
how was living here and looking out the window? Obviously.
I know.
No, it's very nice.
It was black.
You do kind of just walk past it, but last week when it was coming down,
Tough.
Just last week, was it?
Yeah.
Jeez,
It
last
was
week.
very,
That
very-
was
very, very tough.
I was able to look out of Ferris.
And then waking up then in the morning looking out and it was gone. There's a lovely view, but but this is all from the house.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, it's not up there.
She took the doors and
The
everything.
doors, windows, radiators.
No more. Thanks for having us down. And sorry for taking up your time. And
You're fine.
No, you're grand.
again, it's just horrendous to see what you're going through. Like, and you must be a strong family because this is.
Well, we're in a better position now, but there's a lot of people going down the line.
That's-
Few
yeah.
fights over the years. but
It's
sure.
funny. It's funny the position you're in, and Paddy's the same, but he like yourself. You're worried about other people. That's a community.
I can see you saying to Paddy, what's how you doing? He says whenever he gets into his house and he's done and whatever, he just won't. He won't be able to relax thinking of it.
Oh no, Paddy won't.
You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
The people that's
Yeah.
actually still fighting it. But
You're going through it, but you're actually saying you're worried about other people.
There's people that's not going to be for the end of the scheme unless someone's done that.
yeah.
Money wise and all that.
No, it's not. See, if they go out and live, it's just they live here. You're sure the money used to do all that there. It's not accounted for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, listen, unless the builders plays with you and roots,
And that is, we find that out now.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit scared about that.
like we haven't even started, we can balls left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's not nice.
So most of the people we're working with is going to wait, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then a lot of things have doubled in price.
Yeah.
Not just the timber and all the likes that there, but just because they think it's free money coming from the government.
That's it. But no, best luck with your new build, and we'll come back down. Hopefully. Well, maybe even it's halfway when it's up,
Yes.
and then you come down
Call
to the finish
anytime.
article.
Thanks, man.
That's what we're still
Thank you very
going. We're
much.
not sacked.
Have you a number so we can send them pictures or?
Yeah.
Give-
You want to take my number down here, sure?
Here, don't you?
Leave it. I'll take it.
Right.
How's it going, folks? We've just made our way towards Katrina's house here in Letterkenny.
Katrina's agreed to tell us her story, so we're just going to go on and have a chat with her.
Katrina!
Hello.
Hello!
How are you?
How you doing? Very nice to meet you.
You too, Katrina.
This is Marty.
Lovely to meet you,
How are you?
Marty.
Good.
Great, and yourselves? I'm just waiting for the written approval. I've already been given the verbal approval. Got the verbal approval from DMA McCrory, the Donegal County Council engineer, on the 13th of August 21. So he said the written approval will be out within 2 weeks for the option 1. And sure, of course, then the brakes were put and everything. So then 26th of July 2023, so nearly 2 years later, gets a phone call from the housing engineer saying he would be out on Friday morning. And he said if the cracks weren't wide enough, we wouldn't get on the scheme. Now sure, we had all the cracks filled in, painted the house,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
and my husband works a few floors below me, and I went down and I was bawling. And I said, we're not going to get on this scheme. Oh, we're not going to get on this scheme now.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Get the knife out in your hand. That's what I would.
I said, what are we going to do? And he goes, we're going to have to power hose it. I said, we can't power hose the house. And he said, well, what else are we going to do?
To show them how bad it is, like.
We
You
wouldn't
shouldn't
have
have
gone
to do
on
that,
because the
though.
cracks were sealed to protect the
Yeah.
house and keep the inside safe
Yeah.
enough, you
Keep
know.
your fucking family safe. Never
Keep the
mind.
family safe. So anyway, the two of us came home, got the power washer out, got up the ladders and started power hosing out all the cracks that we filled. And the engineer came out, lovely fella, couldn't be nicer. The first nice person I've met in the whole scheme. And he was full of empathy. He was a really nice guy. And he said, look, you've met the threshold, like, you know, you're on the new scheme. And I was like, right. I was like, can I fill the cracks back in now? And he said, no, because the second engineer has to call out and see it. And I said, oh, well, when will that be? And he's like, oh, well, it won't be this year. And I said, so do I have to leave all these cracks laying open for the winter? And he said, if you want to stay in the scheme, yes.
What are they trying to do? Like, why would they? You know what I mean?
I know. So the house now over the winter, every time I go out, there's more. It's just concrete on the ground, plaster. It's just crumbling away all the time. The inside of the house is cracking. The inside of the house is damp.
That's the big one with rains and.
Massive.
It is.
Massive. We have the dehumidifier going 24/7. We have tin foiled the baby's bedroom walls to try and keep some heat in because we can't keep heat in the room.
Yeah.
We plug in radiator that we put in and time it to come on throughout the night.
And with the bills, the electricity and all that.
I know.
It's
I know.
just
Without that.
I know.
and the price of everything, the price of food, everything's gone up, and you have this extra bill now to.
Now I don't have children, but I know Marty has children. He often says like he doesn't know how like people and like yourself are coping, like even what's kids thinking and your kids like.
Well,
Do you know what?
that's our conversation. That's our marriage.
Yeah.
It's all we do is we talk about this and how we're going to get out of it. So we said, right, we'll rent the house. We'll rent it out. We'll just get out of the house. It's too dangerous. The kids aren't allowed to play in the back garden. They're allowed out in the front green. Now, obviously, with a 2-year-old, that means we're outside all the time in the green. You know, we can't just
No,
let
you
them go out
can't
playing the
just
swing
let them
set. The swing set is just sitting there rotting away. It's too much for risk of the gable wall coming down, as per the engineer. We can't rent the house because 1, there'd be no insurance if anything happened to the tenants. 2, we wouldn't get on the scheme. So we're stuck in the house.
You should snooker.
Can't sell the house. We talked about running away, just going over the border. You know, we'll just go and move. My husband's a dairyman. She can't do that. The budget funds will come after us. Along with the fact, obviously, it's illegal to run away from a mortgage.
I'll run away.
we're stuck. We're trapped. We we can't go anywhere. I was saying I took a headache in October 2021. I have the headache day and night all the time. You can't go outside without sunglasses. Can't look at lights. That led to a stroke in my eye last April. Ended up in the hospital with a stroke. They couldn't find what's wrong with me. They diagnosed me with NDPH, which is New Daily Persistent Headache, which means you've got a headache 24/7 for the rest of your life and there's no cure. No tablets, no anything that can help. So I've spent thousands travelling around the country trying to get help to get this fixed because my life is just, it's just been taken over by it. The kinesiologist eventually said, you know what, Katrina, your liver is just full of mould. He said,
From the house.
From the house, you're allergic to mould. Well, I hadn't told him even that I had a Mica house. I hadn't a defective block house. He just said, your liver is full of mould, you're allergic to mould. So I do castor oil packs now on my liver to try and clear all the mould out of it. And I'm a grown woman, like, supposedly at the healthy part of my life. So what's it doing to the kids if this is me?
Exactly.
We're doing our best, and there's no way to get out of it. We're stuck, stranded.
It seems like pure hell, but that's just stories like that's why we wanted to do this. Like, it's because no one does. As we were saying, when people talk about Mica or defective blocks, you think they're cracked down the side of a house, but people don't actually hear the things that people go through. Like, and it's absolutely disgusting, and we've learned so much over it. Like, and it's just so upsetting.
So I'm giving out about the price of shopping. So look what you have. You have a house, you have weans, and you have that problem. It's life's hard enough without this. Simple as, do you know what I mean? Like,
Just because we've left it open and exposed over the winter.
it's fucking scary looking cracks.
And you see this crack here that goes then up to the bedroom window, bathroom window, bedroom window. That extends right across the 4 houses to the end of the one on the other side. Right? So the same crack on the same. Let's say this is one big house, right? But it's 4. They each have to have a test to see if they have defective blocks, and they all have to be dealt with separately. Like, it's ridiculous. You can see the crack go from one end to the other.
I see it going frost right through the.
I just don't understand how
the cell.
Now they're after being filled in because they're after putting new tenants in.
you can see them
But
from
you
there.
can see, yeah, but like they go right across and then the
So they're trying to tell you that crack's not the same as that crack.
No.